Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 5 from Marvel Comics. This issue is titled Scars, and scars are going to play a theme. We actually start off this issue with Mark talking about all the scars that he has, about how he's been brought back to life a couple of times. He's been brought back from the dead, and he always comes back with reminders, which are scars. So he has like a sun scarved into his back from the Sun Kings. He has bullet wounds scarred all over his chest. Scars from stained glass scarlet. Basically, his body's covered in scars. I think it's Khonshu tells him that every scar is a lesson. Taken together, they are your education, never forget. And so he's getting ready to go into the ring to battle Fairchild. And as he's doing that, we get to see what some of his comrades are doing. Soldier and Hunter's Moon are trying to play doctor to this little kid, but the dad won't let them, because the dad sees on the news that they're working with vampires and peddling moon dust and stuff like that. We see Tigra as well as Reese and 8-Ball, and they're fighting Frankenstein gangsters. I guess it's like a gang of Frankenstein monsters. And one of them looks a lot like Savage Dragon. And I kind of would have liked to see the Savage Dragon looking one being the one that had his arm ripped off, because I can't stand that character. I absolutely hate Savage Dragon. I think it's a terrible series. It is just so awful. We just get to see like all that. And Reese basically puts Tigra in her place. We know that you're upset, but it's not because of what's going on. It's something to do with Mark. You got to get your crap together. Get your emotions under control, because we need to stop Fairchild. We need to stop the cops. We need to continue protecting our business and protecting our people and our turf, which means you got to get your stuff together. And that's when we come back to Mark. And Mark is battling against Fairchild. And Mark is just beating his ass. Mark is just completely trouncing this guy. I like the fact that we get to see his other personalities like watching this as this is going down. And eventually we get to a point where Mark has Fairchild in a chokehold. And Fairchild just kind of flexes his back muscle and it sends Mark flying. And that's when Khonshu is basically saying, look at Fairchild, you've missed something. You've let your rage and pride blinded you. What do you know about your enemy? And Mark is just like, he's just some kind of hillbilly gangster. He grew up as a farm boy, and then he became a boxer. He's like, yeah, but look at his body. Look at the roadmap of violence carved in your flesh. Look at your education. What's different between you and him? And that's when Mark realizes that this guy has no scars. It's like, this dude grew up on a farm. He was a boxer. He doesn't have any battle wounds whatsoever. There's nothing, no blemishes on his skin. That's not normal. And so Mark realizes that this isn't just a regular dude, that he has to have some kind of special powers. And it actually gets revealed later on what exactly Fairchild is, but I don't want to spoil that. And yeah, we get the rest of the group going back to the sewers, where they discover the aftermath of the last issue, where they just see a bunch of dead bodies. They see, I think this is a vampire tied up, and the vampire tells them he said he wanted to end it, that he was going to do something to protect you all. That's when they realize that Mark has basically put himself in danger. This is like a trope that I really hate. I'm not the biggest fan of like when you have like a group dynamic, and then you have one person going off to do something for the sake of the rest of the group, but they don't tell the rest of the group, so they just kind of go off on their own. Because then what happens? It's the same cliche trope. That person goes off to go take care of business or whatever, and then they get in over their head, and then the rest of the group has to come in and save the day and help, get them out of the situation that they're in. And then they have an argument, and then water under the bridge, we move on until it happens again. It's just a cliche trope that I see all the time, and I'm really not the biggest fan of it. Kind of off topic, but it's one of the reasons like my favorite show is Hogan's Heroes, and I've watched it like all the time. I actually watch it while I work. And that's one of the things that I love about the show, is that the group dynamic, everyone is working together. No one is doing anything off on their own. If one person screws up, then everyone else, rather than just ganging up on that person, they're like, okay, you screwed up, but how are we going to fix this? And then they work together to fix it. It's always a us versus them. It's always a Hogan and his group versus the Nazis. And I kind of wish more series would do that, where we got rid of this trope of infighting, where we got rid of someone's going off on their own to go do something, and then they don't tell the rest of the group, so the rest of the group is in the dark, and then it just makes the situation even more worse for everybody. It's one of those cliches that it seems like every series does it, and it's just I'm kind of done with it at this point. Like, just communicate. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but that's just like a minor thing. As for this issue, I enjoyed it. I do think the previous issue was better though. I liked it more, but I thought this was pretty good. I like the fight that we get between Marc and Fairchild. I do like the fact that Fairchild basically led Marc into a false sense of security, where he basically allows Marc to beat him up on purpose. He even says so. He says, I was sandbagging you because I wanted to do something nice for you. I wanted you to get that winning feeling one last time. And I was also curious to see what you were like if you went all out, how would you fight? And then that's when he reveals that there's more to him than just a farm boy. So that was good. I enjoyed the artwork. Artwork was good. The whole infighting thing, like I said before, it's fine. Like I get it. You got to have some kind of drama and stuff. Like obviously Hogan's Heroes is a sitcom, so their style of writing is going to be a lot different than something like this, which is not a sitcom, which is not a comedy, which is going to have its dramatic moments and things like that. I get that. I just kind of wish that we got away from the whole cliche. We have a group, but one person thinks that they can do everything on their own. It's like, what's the point of a group then if you're not going to trust in your fellow members to help you out? But outside of that, yeah, this was fine. I liked it. So there you go. There's Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 5 from Marvel Comics. This has been a pretty decent run so far. I've enjoyed it. I think it's a good jumping in point for anyone who wants to check out Moon Knight for whatever reason. Maybe there's people who are playing the Marvel Rivals game and they want to see some of those characters. I think this is a good jumping on point. I mean, that's basically what I'm using it as. I haven't read anything else from Moon Knight other than, like I said before, old school stuff. Basically his appearance in Werewolf by Night. So, which is not the same Marc that we have now. So, yeah, if I can jump into this and be able to follow it for the most part, I think anyone can. There you go. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.